As a typical North American of European descent, I can tell you that I'm quite ignorant of most of the rest of the world. I know a little more about South America, but that's only been recently after my trip there just before the pandemic. Before that, it all seemed to be one place just lumped together. All major cities within miles of each other, the Andes were merely a line drawn on the map. I had heard about the dictatorship in Argentina, but it seemed to blend in with so many other countries' political problems. I couldn't even remember the years. I was familiar with the abuelas, the grandmothers, who championed the search for their children and their grandchildren, but very little else. I didn't know anything about the numbers of missing people, who they were, and why they were taken. I think what first spiked my interest was when I watched the movie The Two Popes. In that movie, they touched on the topic of the dirty war, la guerra sucia, and what was done to the victims. Then upon further reading, and with a visit to the country's different memorials, I discovered that possibly up to 30,000 people had been kidnapped, tortured, and killed. Since so many of their identities were erased, there is no definitive number. There is also a question of the complicity of the Catholic Church. How much did the Catholic Church aid the dictatorship, and what were the reasons? In Buenos Aires, I had the opportunity to learn so much. The Argentinians have done a lot of work on the subject of reconciliation. Most importantly, I learned the phrase, Nunca más, never again or never more. I selected an image from the Metropolitan Cathedral to represent this event. Churches can represent kindness and compassion, peace and solace. However, as well, they can also be the root of why we have conflicts, even holy wars. Some people can commit atrocities under the belief that it is for the protection of the state or the church. I discovered the small chapel with a skylight in the cathedral. The colors in the chapel were very harmonious, pastel blues with creamy yellows, which were very calming. The ovals and curves in the ceiling work well with my style and promote the themes of this project.